What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football and Sports Talk Radio. I'll be your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. Join me here today to talk about the NFL draft prospect, Zah Frazier, quarterback out of UTSA, representing the Roadrunners. Help me out today is going to be Brian LeBel. Brian, how you doing, man? And I think we might have found a diamond in the rough, perhaps, with this guy. I don't hear a whole lot of talk about him, but that's what we're here to do today, to enlighten the people, let them know why they should want Zah Frazier on their team. So I will hand the mic over to you, and you can give your spiel about that.
So this guy's on nobody's radar, or at least wasn't before the combine. No one's talking about this guy. No one's really bringing him up, unless I guess you're a UTSA homer, or if you're just a guy who's just deep diving into all these prospects, maybe at the cornerback position. But he had 6 interceptions last year, had 15 passes defensed. Those are elite numbers. Now, obviously, maybe some of the stronger guys at the position aren't going to get targeted as much, but when he was targeted, he made plays. He jumps on the ball very, very well. I mean, he's 6'3". He's just under, he's a couple of biscuits under 190, and he's a 4.36 guy. He's a sub 440 guy. He ran I think his first run at the combine was 4.4, and he's like, it's not fast enough. Let's run it again. I know I'm quicker than that. And I'm like, okay. All right. I think we've seen a lot of that, but the speed is there. The size is there. He's got good hands. I mean, he's got 6 interceptions. He's breaking up passes. I mean, he's done everything really, really well. Now, I know he's playing for UTSA, and that's probably not going to be your primetime game on a Saturday night, right? But
Yeah.
he's still doing everything that he's asked. He only started 1 year, really. I think that's his biggest critique, is he had 1 year where, okay, 2024 is he's the guy. We're going to let him run. And he did nothing but excel. He was fantastic. I know that's a kind of knock on some guys, like, well, we want guys to start 2-3 years and blah, 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 and maybe have more film on him, which, to be fair, there isn't a ton of film on the guy. There's not. But as a DB, most of the film is going to be highlighted you making plays or someone else making plays over you, and there's not a lot of plays over him. He's got a good read as far as what the quarterback's doing. He breaks on the ball very, very well. I mean, obviously, we already said he can create turnovers. He had 6 interceptions. But I mean, right now, I don't even think he's in the top 20 as far as a lot of these teams' rankings at the position, which is kind of crazy to think about. I wouldn't even think there'd be 20, elite cornerbacks or NFL caliber cornerbacks in the draft. But I mean, we talk about sleeper picks all the time, and it gets thrown out a lot. But this is you said diamond in the rough kind of guy. I mean, this guy kind of can come out of nowhere, and I don't even know where you'd put him, where you'd rank him. But I think late in the draft, just based on the fact that nobody really had any buzz or any, sort of real interest up until after the combine.
And it's a guy who is, local to the Georgia area, went to Cedartown High School. If for y'all who don't know, it's a smaller school, right? Just over around 1,100 people, give or take. But like I say, he did some good work there overall. He was a multi-sport athlete. Played football, obviously, played some basketball, did some track and field. Like we talked about a lot of these guys, they were just different athletes in high school. They played different sports. Was all region as a junior, right? And then as a senior, he did some good work there, another all region. But then he took an interesting journey. It wasn't just, I'll go to UTSA and I'll start there. No. He had to go the JUCO route, Brian, which we talk about these guys every so often. And I always kind of get fascinated and learn about these schools and talk about them. He started off playing college football for the Southern Illinois Salukis. That's new to me. They were the only team to give him an offer. So he said, I'll take it, and I will go and play for Southern Illinois. Played there for just a handful of games. I didn't play a whole lot. Then he went to Coffeyville Community College, which is out there in Kansas. With the Red Ravens out there in 2020, the COVID year. Had 9 tackles, 3 picks, was a second-team all-conference player. And then the next year, in 21, he had 11 pass breakups as well as 26 tackles, and he was 10th in the National Junior College Athletic Association with that 11 pass breakups. The first-team all-conference there. And then he was initially going to go to the Kentucky Wildcats. That was where he was initially committed before he flipped. He went to UTSA, and he was their highest-ranked recruit in program history. We know UTSA isn't a historic franchise or program by any means. They've been around for just over, I think, 10 years or so now. So not very deep with their history, but they obviously thought highly of Zah Frazier, and rightfully so. But he didn't play a whole lot, Brian. He was their highest-ranked recruit. He didn't play a lot in 22. They said he had issues learning the playbook. In 23, he had some academic issues. And, I think what that tells me is in junior college, right, he was just hoping to get a chance. He was just focused on ball, getting on the field, doing the best he can. to get the commitment to go to a Division I school like UTSA. And, you know, like I said, his mind slipped. He was just saying, all right, let's focus on the game. But you come to realize as you grow, as you get older and wiser, it's a student athlete. I know with the NIL stuff that a lot of people say that's not the case anymore, but you got to be a student and an athlete. So he faced those issues in 23. He didn't play until their 9th game. Also served as a scout team receiver, but he stuck to it. He didn't give up. And in 24, as you mentioned, that was his coming out party. Right, he had 6 interceptions, which was phenomenal, as well as being named first team All AAC. As well as just being the only 6th player in the program's history, like I said, just over 10 years, to go to the combine. So, like I said, had a bit of a rocky start to get to where he is today, but Brian, he persevered. And that's why we're talking about him today, because he is a guy who is just a ball hawk. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He is phenomenal when it comes to getting interceptions, pass breakups, whatever you want to say. And my God, that speed. It is blink and you miss it type speed. Wouldn't you agree?
At his size, you wouldn't think that, right? At 6'3", you're not thinking, oh, my God, this guy can fly around the field too. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of cool breaking down some of these players, Zay being a prime example, where just the route they take to get here. You know what I mean? And hopefully getting your name called here in a couple weeks and getting to go to the NFL. I mean, I don't think at any point, I mean, maybe that was the goal, but I don't think at any point Zay was like, hey, I'm going to go play at Southern Illinois. Yeah. The NFL's in my future, right? You know, and I think it's a credit to him, how he persevered, how he was able to stick with it, how he I don't think you ask him, he probably never lost confidence in himself. He's probably just looking for some place to play, probably just loves playing the game, loves trying to, hey, maybe prove people wrong. I didn't really get a lot of offers. Here's why you should have offered me. Here's why you should offer me. I could have helped you win. And I think some guys like that, they get a little chip on their shoulder, which they can carry into the league, and it helps them. And I think Zay, I mean, the talent is there. It's crazy. I think, the off the field stuff, like, hey, we got to get your grades right. We got to get you, you have to learn the playbook. You have to learn what we're doing. This is Division I college football now. And, he took his lumps, but he's able to do it. And now he was at the combine. He showed out at the combine. And I mean, even if he's not drafted, I wouldn't understand how, because there's no off the field issues. There's nothing with Zay. He's fine. And the talent is there. The intangible stuff is there. It's like, can we teach you maybe play a little bit tighter with your hips? Stuff that NFL coaches will say, hey, this is what we see. We need to tweak it a little bit. But it's just the raw talent is there. It's there. And I think if he can fine-tune it, I think he's got a chance to be a fine cornerback at the next level.
He's definitely going to be a later round pick. I don't know what round that may be, but he's not going to be a day one. Maybe even day 2. They might kind of like, he's for UTSA. He's a smaller school. But I think that wherever he goes, it's going to be a learning curve. I think he'll take to the game because just his amazing athleticism, in that he'll pick it up quick, and he doesn't have to worry about school. He can just worry about playing ball. And like I said, I think his speed is what's really going to get noticed in the league, with a league that gets faster and faster every single year. He doesn't have to train to get that fast. He's already that quick. And so I think he's going to do some good work. Like I say, he's a lanky guy with his size. He's got the long limbs, which is great for, obviously, like you said, pass breakups and interceptions. But I like that, Zah Frazier is a guy who grinded to get here, for God's sake. And hopefully he's going to make a name for himself in the NFL. We'll see where he goes. Of course, you guys can check us out on the NFL Draft Live Reaction Show. If you want to learn more about that, we just dropped a promo for that just about an hour ago. So go and check that out. It's only about a minute long, if that. And you can learn more about who all's going to be there. And, of course, we're not going to say everything. We're going to leave some surprises, of course. But we're looking forward to that draft and seeing maybe if Zah Frazier is going to be a surprise. And we always get that one guy, Brian, who no one ever hears of. And they go in the first round and say, who the heck is this kid? Well, it could be Zah Frazier, and that's who we're talking about here today. Now, we know today is April 1st, April Fool's Day, but March Madness is still here, still rolling on, still the Final Four on the men's side. And guys, MyBookie's Bet and Get campaign, it's still back. You can sweeten your deal, and you can place a cash bet on the final March Madness games going on right now. And you can get a surprise reward, whether that's going to be bonus chips or cash back or free bets. You never know what you could get if you just place it in there. And you can use our promo code. Sign up now with MM50, MM50, once again, to boost your bankroll with a deposit bonus that's going to help you get the most out of your money. Who doesn't love that? So you can bet on any game from anytime, really anywhere, only with MyBookie. bookie. Well, for Brian LeBel, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers, guys. Check out all the other draft prospects we've done. We've done hundreds of them, so it's just a lot of great content you can check out. And until next time.